Hello, hello, and welcome. This is Barbara J. Beckley, and you are here at the Coaches Lounge with me and some wonderful, amazing experts, coaches, mentors, educators that I bring on each show to make sure that they're getting loved. Yes, I created this show to make sure they're getting spotlighted because think about it. Any coach that you have in your life, any mentor that you have in your life, they are doing life with you every step of the way. They're trying to make sure that you don't fall. They're trying to make sure that you don't give up. They're trying to make sure that you keep it moving and say, whatever anybody says, I got your back. So now I want to have the coaches back because I want to make sure that they're getting the love, that they're getting the attention. And I always tell them when they come on the show, I said, you can talk about you. This is where you can just love on yourself right now because I want to make sure that, first of all, they know that they're appreciated. Second, that any individual that's watching the show and that might need this particular coach or mentor, you get a chance to hear their personality, see what they're about. And then you can either yourself can come in and say, I think I want that coach, or you might know somebody else that might. So yes, there's a twofold to that. And I always ask, listen, take notes, but whatever you do, make sure that you look back at what you're doing in your life and see where these individuals can come and plant seeds in your life to grow you and make you bigger. Okay. So with that, I have a wonderful, amazing coach, speaker. He's everything. It's like they say triple threat. He's triple threat. And I already because I ask each coach that comes on or each speaker or author that come on and ask them, what would you name this show? If you were doing, what would you name it? And I love his title. He said, How to Win from Within. And I might need to talk to him later because that sounds like a I know he's like, no. I'll be nice. But it does. It really does. It's really catchy. So with this wonderful man, Alex Dumas, he basically partners with companies to prepare them for the next generation of leaders to lead with confidence, to execute under pressure when it matters the most. He accomplishes this through keynotes, workshops, private and group coaching. Already, I can see him helping so many others that are probably listening right now, including, and I always say to myself, I never get to a certain level, including me. You never know. So with that, we're going to talk to Mr. Alex, and we're going to get a chance to know him. He's going to get into some things, how he helps people, basically self-worth. Self-worth is the key. This is why I'm going to love this conversation because I'm always talking about everybody has a gift in them and they just need to shine and get the visibility. Well, this kind of connects a little bit. So with that, after this video, we will get a chance to know and meet Mr. Alex. We'll be right back. And we are back. Oh, I always get so excited. And I'm like a little kid in the candy store when I get a chance to meet individuals that are really pouring into other people's lives because that's just my heart and soul. So, Mr. Alex, thank you for coming on the Coaches Lounge. I got to start off with that.
Thanks for having me, Barbara. Excited to be here with you, to connect with your audience, and hopefully share one or two gems that will make a difference in somebody's life.
Yes, definitely. I mean, already, like I said, you named it. how to win from within. I'm like, we can just start off with that and just keep it moving. But I really would love to hear, because people love to hear backstories. People love to hear, you were here and then now this is what you're doing. Because before you became this phenomenal keynote coach, everything that you do for individuals, I know somewhere in your life, something turned to get you to this point. So can you just give us a little bit background?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot. So this idea of winning from within came from losing from within, right? There's the other side of the coin. You can't have one without the other. I grew up in Long Island, New York, as the youngest of four kids. So I like to say that my parents saved the best for last. And I was, I was kind of two people in my life, right? At home, I was very shy, very reserved, very quiet. My sister, my brothers were a lot older than me, right? 10, 7, 6 years older than I was. So I'm always just kind of catching up, uh, always just out of step, right? I'm in elementary school, they're in middle school. I'm in middle school, they're in high school. I'm in high school, they're in college. I'm in college, they're out of the house, right? So I'm always just kind of out of sequence with them. So that's that one side of the fence. And then in school, I'm loud, crazy, wild class clown kid, disrupting class, not trying to be mean, but just, I was just energetic. I just had all this bottled up energy. I wanted to be funny and be liked. And that really was a way of being inauthentic as well, Barbara, because I never let people really get to know the real me, someone who was really not confident, somebody who had a lot of self-doubt, somebody who felt isolated and just felt alone. And I share all of that because it bubbled into my teen years, replacing my love of sports, football in particular, with substance use, with causing trouble, with just going down the wrong path. Fortunately, I didn't get into major trouble, but inside you're kind of just drifting, and that's the best way I could put it. I was just drifting along, just kind of skating by, always having struggles academically, struggling with relationships, struggling with just being connected with my parents, connected with other family members. Fast forward to college years, I meet this lovely young lady on this thing called MySpace. So I'm taking people back now. All right, go back to the past, right? MySpace, AOL, Messenger, all these different things. And she winds up just helping pour into me a way of living, a new way of being. She was like, you're better than what you are. You could be doing so much more, right? So having somebody kind of from the outside see that and nurture that, and she really kind of mentored and coached me. And luckily for me, she married me, and yeah.
I knew there was like a wonderful ending to that. What a surprise.
yeah. My wife Sarah, yeah, she's my best half. We have two beautiful babies together. They're not babies anymore, right? They're 15 and 10 as we're speaking, and it's been a good life. But that's been on the personal side, and just through my professional journey with working with special needs individuals in the nonprofit space for close to a decade, sales and marketing, customer service. All of these experiences have now shaped who I am and what I do, like you mentioned, as far as keynote speaking, authoring books, coaching, whether it's private or group coaching, sorry. And that level of that experience has helped me raise my level for myself and for my clients, and just looking at how can we create the best experiences? How can we prepare what I would call emerging leaders or next generation of leaders to really stand up and speak up when the pressure is on, because we all have to deal with pressure as entrepreneurs, or even folks who are in the corporate W-2 world. There's a lot of pressure on us. So I'm gonna put a pin in it there, shared a lot. So I'm gonna let you rock.
I told you we're rocking you today, Alex. So this is amazing. I'm just going to bring up the fact and just give you so much kudos for, when you were talking about going back, like you said, in time with you, and you were talking about, I was like a class clown. I had a lot of energy, and you brought me back to me, because that's how I was. Like on the outside, I was making people laugh, not hurting anybody, just, and people would love me to come in because they knew I was going to start, just doing things and, saying things. But then I was getting older and older, and then the real me inside was still kept a secret, like you said, being hurt, feeling alone, all that was in there. And, it came out, it had to come out, because I said, okay, I can't be this In my mind, I was thinking this clown forever. Then all of a sudden I started thinking to myself, wait a minute, am I here to just amuse you? I mean, I even asked those questions. I started thinking like, wait now, I'm not always here. I said, maybe I should get paid for this. I'm sitting here going to be a comedian to you. I was like, hey, let's make that. But I knew I wasn't that person. That was just, my personality and how I was. But I was thinking that it was really, okay, am I the person like this? I know I have so much more in me. But, there was a lot of things that happened, like you said, in your life that kind of was deteriorating that a little bit. And then I started just, making that my life. So when you were saying that, I was like, oh my God, we are just so much alike in that area when, we were younger. And then for always see the turn happen with you, because first of all, you knew there's something else. And then a person came in your life and really pulled that out of you and said, yeah, there is more for you, Alex. And then now what I love you, what you're doing is you're giving back. You went through your thing. You went through all of the, the downfalls, because we all have those, right, in our life. But then you said, I'm not going to go left anymore. I'm going to turn and go right now. Let me go this way. So this is that's why I love to hear the backstories, because people need to understand the connection that they're probably out there listening right now and say, oh my God, Alex went through that. This wonderful, amazing young man that's doing this, and he dealt with that. He dealt with this. And then they might be in their, prime of trying to see where they need to go. You can come in and help them because now their connection is there. So that's why I really love telling, people telling their stories and their background, what's happening with them. So, as I wanted to kind of get into, because I know it birthed out how to win from within. With that, if you were talking to individuals, because I know there's especially a lot of young people, and my heart's going out for the young people right now, like you said, the younger generation, to make sure that they're grounded. How would you kind of, tell them about between their identity, grounded, and then, performance-based? How would you kind of explain that to them?
Yeah, great question. The episode you're watching, you're listening to is How to Win from Within, and W.I.N is a 3-part framework that I teach from the stage, and it's going to be part of my book that's coming out later this year. Same title, Win from Within. It's a playbook for building unshakable confidence. And to that young person, that emerging leader, I would just start with that foundational piece of the W, the worth, the self-worth, and the thing that was a challenge for me was looking for the outside, looking for like, all right, who's going to validate me? Who's going to do the Jerry Maguire thing? Like, who's going to complete me? Well, it starts with me. I have to be the one who's got to be an advocate for myself. I got to be the one who's got to be a champion for myself. And I would challenge that person to think about the gifts, the talents, the abilities they have. Right. And this is not, and you can lean on other people and say like, hey, what am I good at? What do you see about me? Right. That's valuable. But there's that inner knowing, like you said, Barbara, right? That thing inside that, like, right. It's an intuitive thing. It's something about you that you do, right? If you're not in this room, then what's missing? That's the question I like to challenge my clients with, right? As far as how they're thinking about themselves, like, what's missing when you're not here? Like, well, this and that, right? You start thinking about your qualities. So I lean on the worth piece first, because if we don't feel like if we can't see greater for ourselves, then we can't be it. We can't live into it, right? If I didn't see, individuals like Les Brown or Eric Thomas, who inspired me as a speaker, I would never think, well, a man of color, like, I have no business being on the stage. I have no business talking to these fancy folk. I have no business trying to do a podcast and lead communities. Like, who am I? Like, well, who am I not to? That would be my inverse to that. Is like, who am I not to? If I don't do it, then who will? So that's the worth piece of it. Then I would have that individual look at their intentions. And this is going to be a little bit of an intense side, because in my life, when I've seen it from both sides of the fence, what it looks like when I was, like I mentioned, going through substance use challenges, right? Being an addict. When you're an addict, your mind is singularly focused. When's the next high? What do I have to get this substance? What do I have to do to get this thing? And I think like, wow, they're sick. There is mental unwellness and things like that, but they're committed to that purpose. So I've seen that. And I've also seen on the other side of the fence, what it looks like when I'm committed to do something greater for other people, when I'm thinking about something bigger than myself. And I've been able to put on events, I've been able to lead different communities because I've been intentionally focused. And I challenge that person to think about, what does it look like when you are focused, when you are dialed in? A lot of distractions go away, right? The social media is not as important. The hanging out with other people is not as important because you have something that you are dedicated to. You're, lack of a better word, you're obsessed with.
Yeah. The
It's,
passion.
it's just, it is passion, right? And then last piece is thinking about your network, right? That's the end piece of this WIN framework. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with? With me sharing about my wife, she saw, what, you're hanging around these other people. I don't think that's the best idea for you. I don't think this is where you belong. This is not the space where you can flourish, right? It's like weeds choking a rose in the ground. Like, if you just remove the weeds, you remove these substances, you put in good soil, right? You plant in good soil. Now you get to bloom, you get to reap good fruit. So there's an old expression, birds of a feather, they flock together. And I challenge that leader. Do you want to soar with eagles, right? Do you want to fly, or do you want to waddle on the ground with the ducks? Just whack, whack.
Yes. Trying to cross the streets. I love your analogies. I love them, especially about the thorns and everything. You want to be kind of, ooh, and see, just you explaining that. I mean, I just, had that vision in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to be around that. That's going to really squash my whole gifts. It's going to squash what I do. It's just going to keep me, held in. And I'm like, thank you for, showing it like that, because that really helps. See the big picture. Yeah,
you're welcome. And I come from the background of athletics. When you have solid teammates around you, that's when the game gets fun, because you can rely on that person. You don't have to question, oh, is this person going to show up to practice? Is this person going to just kind of be messing around, taking selfies when we're supposed to be in the game, right? That's athletic side. What about in the corporate world? Man, can I trust this manager? Can I trust my peer to handle this report? Or can I trust them with this task? So now it doesn't fall on me. I can actually breathe and relax, do my best work without worrying about somebody else. And we actually all rise together. The customer is happy, right? We're all parts of, they're all like these mini bricks in this wall, but we have to build that foundation, that winning culture, that winning mindset.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know you said you like football. I like football and basketball. Did you watch March Madness? I don't know if you were.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it. Yeah, I was. It was pretty amazing. I'm out of UConn. I mean, I like UConn. Like that last second shot with against Duke, right? I mean, everybody. No offense to the Dukies out there, but like everybody hates Duke to a degree. It's like everybody hates Chris. Everybody hates Duke to a degree. But it's something about that magic when you see young men and young ladies as well, who they come together with a singular purpose. They recognize, all right, we have to go through this first round, then we have to get to the next round. Right? It doesn't matter what you did before that. It's like we're here, we're present in the moment. That's why I love intentions. I love commitment, because if I don't bring my best game, then now the burden is placed on you to kind of carry the load. And hopefully I have solid teammates that can do that. I don't want to rely on that. I want to be a person who's shooting 0 for 5, 0 for 6 from the 3 and be like, hey, man, can you like help us out? Can you like contribute a little bit? I'm trying, air ball. Like, all right, now that's less trust, less confidence in them, in me to give me the ball, right? Last second shot. If I'm 0 for 7, I'm not getting the ball. There's a good chance I'm not getting the rock at that point.
I like the analogies of baseball and football. I mean, basketball and football, because I love basketball. Yeah. And when you say you like football too, and I'm just thinking on both ends, because I know March Madness just ended. I know Michigan won. Yay, Michigan. Yeah. And I was just thinking at the end, because I always look at the reaction and how, like you said, the team formed themselves to be one as oneness. And every person that they interviewed after they won, they were like, I was just here. I just wanted us to win. I just wanted us as a team, and that's what it's all, what you're talking about. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. That's when you become one as a team. and you can help others. And you being a coach and mentor, and you're doing your workshops, you want to be that team member in a person's life to help them, so we all rise, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the locker room after a win is a whole lot of fun. And you have to think about this too, Barbara, right? These two teams, they both have endured the same thing, right? It's about 2 to 3 hours of like actual gameplay, right? We have like the 12-minute quarters, whatever, 20-minute halves, but they both have experienced the same thing. But look at the difference. The team that wins, they've exerted, they've given everything, and they're hooting, they're hollering, they're celebrating, they're crying, they're laughing, they're singing, they're hugging each other. And the losing team, it's like a graveyard. It's like, whoa. It's just, man, what did we do wrong? What could have done better, right? It's just
crying.
It's this weight that's just like, oh, we had a chance and we blew it.
That one, yeah. I was the ones that are losing. I be sitting. Kelly, sometimes I want to go into the camera and give him a hug because I'm like, I get it. I get it. That was it. Like you said, that's it. It's over with. But what I think, and I know you probably do this with your people that you mentor and coach, is that you remind people of the learning curve, the learning experiences that they can learn from what they do with what you do in the WIN. Like I love that acronym, the WIN, the worth, the intention, and net. And you have to start off with worth. I'm glad that you start off with that, because I was going to ask you too, as you were talking about that, people get a lot of things in their mind from other people. And I'm talking about the negative side, because it seems like people can think negative faster than they can think positive. I don't know. It just seems like all of our makeup, it's really sad that we think of something and go wrong, then starts thinking things go right first. Well, if I do this, but if I do that, it's going to be, maybe I won't, and you go down that road, and then, you're taking all the energy talking about if it goes wherever. And I'm like, well, why don't we take that same energy and take it the other direction? How about if it does go right? How about if it does work? How about if people do, So I was going to ask you, how do you get a lot of people maybe in that state of mind? And sometimes it's really themselves in their head. I mean, people be talking, but most of the time it's ourselves talking there too. How do you deal with that a lot of times with your people that you work with?
Yeah, quite often. I mean, as humans, we're all dealing with it. As you mentioned, we all tend to lean toward the negative. What I did wrong, where I screwed up. Is this for me? Can I do this? I'll share this. This is the work that I had to do with myself. So 2016, I discovered this world of coaching and professional speaking. And I was working a sales job at the time, and that primary target market or audience were speakers, digital marketers, coaches. So I got an opportunities to go to conferences and watch people making sales from the stage, and 6-7 figure earners, right? Just people who are making more in a weekend than I'm making in a year. Right? They're doing well for themselves. And that light is turning on for me, Barbara. I'm like, wow, I would love to do that. Like, gee golly, like I want to do that. I'm like, I'm fired up. And then reality, well, who am I? Right? Get home, like, well, I don't know anybody. I don't have a message. I don't have a network. I don't have this. Like, I'm just, if I had like a bag, like Santa's bag of Christmas, like he's got a bag of toys, I got a bag of excuses. I got a bag of disbelief. I got the thing just as an anchor. It's weighing me down. So that's 2016. It's not until 2022 where I, quote unquote, get on the field. I'm on the sidelines for all these years, but it's an incubation period for me. I'm learning. I'm trying to develop my voice. I'm trying to figure out what my message is, and it's something that still continues to evolve. But for that person who's kind of wondering, like, wow, everybody else is doing great things. Maybe I should. Maybe should I? Who am I? One day, like, you're on the sidelines. I encourage you, whatever it is, to take a small step.
Yes.
Right. We get caught up in, well, this person is an overnight success. Well, how many years did it take them to be overnight?
That's a good question. Yeah, I tell people that. Yeah. You don't know. It's like you look at how long it took.
Pain.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so sorry to cut you. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just agreeing with you. You're right. How long do you know how long their story? That's why I like to hear people's backstories, because this wasn't like an overnight thing. Most of the time, it's not. And we do the work. We go through what you said with the big Santa Claus bag in his brain. It's like this thing,
I call it the yeah but bag. It's like, I want to do this, yeah, but I'm not, I'm black. I'm this. I come from this neighborhood. I come from this environment. Who am I? And that's why I start with the work. Like, who are you not to? Right. I'm a person of faith. Like, I've been called to be wonderfully made and
Yeah,
fearfully designed and
and
purposefully created. Right. And when we have to really be careful of our words. Our words, in the beginning, there was a word. Our words matter, as in they materialize. Like, our words literally create.
yes,
So when I was speaking depth into myself, the words I was saying was, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm invisible. I'm lonely. I'm a loser." I'm like, I just pile on with myself. Like, it's exhausting to think so negative.
yeah,
And as I've developed over these years, as I've been doing the work for myself, as I've received coaching, as I've received mentoring, as I've been around other folks who are where I want to be, and are generous enough with their time and their energy to pour back into me, those thoughts now go into like, man, I know I can do this. I've done this before. I've been in a jam before. I've been in a tight spot before, but I figured out a way. I've been creative enough. I've been resourceful enough to find a way through whatever mess I'm in or whatever idea I want to bring to life. And I know that for your listeners out there and for you as well, you've been able to do that time and time again. So when we have to, it's our responsibility to kind of tap back into that and remember, yeah, I'm a bad MFer. Like, I'm him. I'm her. I am that, right? Like, I am, and then you follow it up. You create.
You create it. Yeah, you are super bad.
Yeah, super bad. I'm bad man. That's, you know.
You know what I love. Well, I want to just well, I really feel so good for your two children because they have a dad that's going to make the win within just explode in their lives. They're starting so early in the age, and I know you're starting them really early to think that their worth and their intention and their net. So this is phenomenal. This is what's needed right now. I'm just letting you know that you're doing a big, you're doing a good as a good coach, but you have a mission. You're a messenger. So I just want to just pour that into you and let you know that, keep going and be around the people, like you said, just like, he teaches, Alex teaches us people out there in the audience. Be around the right people. Understand your worth. Understand that you matter. You weren't put on this earth just as an accident. I always tell people that, Alex. I say you were not an accident. So I'm loving what you're doing. And I want to make sure because I'm like I said, I'm really loving what you're doing for people. Can you just mention, because I know there was another fact that you want to bring out about the value of being intentional, focused on cultivating a growing centered network. Can you talk just a little bit about that? That would be good. Put some more good information.
Yeah, I mean, with that, you have to an exercise or a game to like to play with for the audiences is really just looking at who are the people you're spending your time with. And this doesn't necessarily even just mean who you're on the phone with, but who are you texting? Who are you messaging on social media? What are you consuming? Right? Because that input is going to reflect itself on the output. Right? If I drink, I'm not going to do this, but like say I'm a person like it's some good cup of ammonia here and some rat poison. A good diet of that. Like that's not healthy. I'm not going to last very long drinking bleach or drinking, poisonous substances. Same thing with our spirit, our soul, and our network, right? Who am I cultivating? People who are going to one challenge me,
Yes.
right? And what I mean by challenge is not necessarily beat you down and hurt you, but if I have an idea, well, Alex, have you thought about this? Well, no, I didn't. And now I have a new lane, a new door that's open. If I try to keep it all to myself, and this is a challenge for leaders constantly when I work with them, because they're supposed to know everything, Barbara. They're supposed to have all the answers. They're supposed to like never be wrong. They're supposed to always have it buttoned up and all together. And you don't. You need other people around you that can call you out and that will challenge you to be better. Right. And then you have people who are your champions, the people who are just on your team, like, yes, you can do this. We got you. Come on. I'm with you. Like, they're your ride or dies. They're your people like, we're going, they're with you no matter what. Yes. And then you have to think about the part of your network is who are the people who are your crushers. people I mean who are, Barbara, you want to start a show? Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, well, you don't know how to do that. You never did. Like, people,
A
they
lot of
may mean well, but like, you got to be careful of those folks because they'll seep in, and sometimes we'll do the thing like we'll put a finger on an ear, and it will go in one, but it won't go out the other, and you
mm,
or crushing your dreams
mm,
that don't
yeah.
have ambition, that are not on the same level that you are. You got to love them from a distance, and some of those people might even be your blood, and that's a
Yes,
hard thing to
that's a
come
hard
across.
one. Yeah, it is
But
a
it's
hard
like I got to separate yourself because where I'm going, you can't. Not everybody can go.
one.
It's just part of the deal. So
Mhm.
when you
Yeah.
cultivate, when you are a farmer of your life, of your reality,
I like that.
really pay attention to, man, where are those weeds coming from? Where like the Bible says, right, where the birds are going to come to take the seed, right? Am I planting my seed on rocks, or is this on fertile ground? Is this going to be a place where this can bear fruit, where I can really expand, or is this just going to be, hey, I got one piece of fruit and then it dies?
Mm. Yeah, we don't want nobody dying on the vine. No,
No.
no, we don't want nobody. But yeah, I don't have to worry about you because you're not dying at all. You are just explosive. You're putting a whole bunch of seeds. They're just growing and growing. I'm loving it. So Alex, I want to take myself down because I really want you to leave any lasting thoughts that you have for the audience. For them to think. I mean, there was a lot of things. I'm just telling you, everybody out there, if you were listening in, Alice was dropping some knowledge today. He was dropping a lot of knowledge, and you can see by working with him how he is, his personality. I mean, I would love to work with Alex. I would. You should. So, yeah, I am. I'm putting him out there. This is about him. So, with that, I'm going to go down for a few seconds. I'm going to let you, Alice, just leave any lasting thoughts for the audience. I'll be right back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for you watching this right now, I just want to let you know that your story matters and your voice matters. And I'm going to say it again so you can really hear it. So hopefully you're not driving, but close your eyes if you're not and hear this. Your story matters and your voice matters. Like, you're born to win. You're born to live your life in abundance. I believe that you have complete dominance for your thoughts, your emotions, and your habits. You are the master of your future and your freedom. And if you choose, right, it's all a choice. If you choose to be on this field, a possibility of living your life to the fullest, of really engaging, being focused, being committed to something, and having people around you that will support you, that will have your back, that will challenge you and champion you, there's nothing that can stop you. I will tell you this last thing: the field is where all the fun is. The sidelines are fun, right? It's great to watch, be a spectator, but I don't want you to be a spectator in life. You're born to be a champion. You're born to just be the MVP of your life. Your story matters and your voice matters. So share it. We need to hear it. And the field is going to be where everything happens for you and for the people in your life that you love.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Thank you. Thank you. I want to call you Dr. Alex for some reason. I just pops in my head. It just popped in my. I'm really being truthful. I mean, I can see you as Dr. Alex. PhD. Yeah. See, you never know. That might be that's another seed being dropped. So with that, I just want to say from my heart to your heart, thank you, Alex, for coming on the Coaches Lounge. Thank you for expressing what you do for others. Thank you for reminding us that we are worthy of what we want to do in our lives. And that's huge. That's like a beginning start. Once people can lock that in, they can go and soar like you said, an eagle and not a duck. There's enough of them. In fact, I hit one other day. I was like, oh God. So yeah, no ducks. Let's be eagles. Let's be eagles. So with that said, everybody, I'm going to put Alex's information down at the bottom in the tickler down below with his, I think that's your website, right?
Yep, correct.
I want to make sure, yeah, that's his website. Again, yes, this is me. Please reach out to Alex. Awesome individual. And he cares about the people that he's talking to and training and coaching. And see his keynote. I mean, he put out some people. You mentioned ET. That's one of my guys, but I look at you.
What up?
That's one of my guys, but I can see the what up with you even more so. So I'm even higher than ET. And we're not talking about the space person either, Eric Thomas. So with that, everybody, we will see you next time at the Coaches Lounge. I just had so much fun with Alex. But again, as I always tell people, this is where I spotlight experts to give advice for life and for your business. And understand, like I said earlier, you are not down here by a mistake. You're down here because you're gifted, and the world needs to see that. So we will see you next time at the Coaches Lounge. Take care.